the hotel room they don't rent out. For a reason, the door to room 313 slammed shut behind me even though I hadn't touched it, and the lock spun by itself like an eye closing. The air went cold enough that I could see my breath. The ceiling light didn't flicker like normal, it jumped, bright to dim to bright again, in tiny clicks, like someone was taking pictures of me. In the big wall mirror, I saw my face and, one heartbeat later, I saw a second shape standing close behind my left shoulder. I felt nothing there. No warm breath. No body heat. But in the glass, the shape leaned in slow, like it was learning how to be near me. Its head tilted too far, like a curious bird that didn't understand people yet. A scratch began inside the wall by the headboard. Not a quick little scratch. A slow drag, like a heavy chair being pulled by a tired hand. The sound crawled up to the ceiling, crossed the room, and came down the other side, drawing a box around me. On the carpet, the tiny diamond pattern swelled and sank like a quiet breath was happening under the floor. The mirror fogged from the inside. Letters wrote themselves backward, but I could read them the right way. Did you ask for the room they don't rent out? My mouth went dry. The old landline phone on the nightstand started to ring. Not a happy ring. A heavy bell sound, 1, 2, 3, slow and sure, like a clock that wanted my attention. I picked up the receiver and whispered, "Hello?" No one spoke into the phone. A voice spoke through the peephole. "Who's in my room?" it asked, soft and close, like a secret. In the mirror, the second shape smiled without a mouth. The light snapped off, and something cold touched the back of my neck. Earlier that same day, everything was boring in the best way. I'd been driving north for hours with a coffee that tasted like cardboard and a radio station that kept fading out. I'm Alex, 26, big on saying thank you, small on picking fights. I had a job interview in the morning, and I just needed a cheap room and a quiet night. When the highway sign said there was a motel at the next exit, I took it because I was tired enough to yawn with my whole face. The motel sat behind a gas station and a little diner with a neon pie sign. Red Birch Inn. The paint on the building used to be white. Now it was the color of a storm cloud. Fake flowers in the planters had dust on their petals. A soda machine hummed like it was trying to remember a song. But the front door was clean, and the lobby smelled like lemon cleaner and coffee. Long day, the clerk asked when I rang the bell. Her name tag said Marla. She had kind eyes that made you want to tell the truth. Long highway, I said. One night, please. We've got 207 and 209, she said. Second floor is quieter. Cheaper is fine, I said. I'll take 209. She looked past me for a second, like she was reading a note on the air. Then she said, "Do you mind 211? Sure, I said. I'm easy. She smiled, but her mouth was too quick and her eyes stayed worried. She slid me a key card and a little map. Elevators on your right. Ice at the end of the hall. If your AC gets touchy, call me. I'll talk it into behaving. Thanks, I said. As I turned to go, my eyes snagged on the pegboard behind her where the extra key cards hung. The numbers made neat rows, 201, 203, 205. One hook was empty. The label under that hook said 313. A second hook, 2 spaces away, was empty too. Its label also said 313. That didn't make sense. I blinked, told myself I was tired, and went upstairs. My room was like every motel room, 2 beds with gold covers, a nightstand with a clock that ran a little fast, a mirror that made you wish you'd slept more. I texted my sister, Jill, made it. Interview in the AM. She yes. And back a selfie with her cat on her head and the words, "You got this." It made me laugh. I walked to the diner and ate a grilled cheese that squeaked a little because the cheese wanted to be rubber. I asked the man at the register if the motel was okay. "It's fine," he said, and then added, like he couldn't help himself, "Don't get ice from the 3rd floor." He didn't explain. He just handed me change and nodded like a person who knows a thing and doesn't want to say it out loud. Back in the lobby, a man in a suit spoke to Marla with his voice low and too calm, which is a kind of mad that worries me more than yelling. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I heard Marla say, soft and steady, "Sir, I'm sorry. We simply don't rent that room." His jaw moved like he was chewing a problem. I took the stairs because the elevator made a sound like it was clearing its throat. That MY hallway was quiet. That good hotel quiet that means other people exist, but they are on their own screens and not in your life. I set my suit on the chair, washed my face, and told myself to sleep early like a grown-up with goals. My phone buzzed with a new text from an unknown number. "Do not ask for the room, they don't rent out." I stared at it. My first thought was Jill's being silly, but it wasn't her style, and the number was just blank. I typed back, "Wrong number?" The little sending dots danced and then, nothing. My phone screen dimmed. I told myself it was spam and plugged it in. At 2:03 a.m. footsteps woke me. Slow ones. Heel, toe. Heel, toe. They went across the ceiling and stopped right above my bed. I lay still and counted my heartbeats. The steps started again, measured and patient, like someone was counting the room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A chair noise followed, a drag, not a lift. Then quiet. I told myself to stop being a kid, put on my hoodie, and open my door. The hall smelled like lemon cleaner and old carpet. I listened. The steps came again, above me, toward the far end of the building. I went to the stairwell and climbed one floor. The third floor's air felt colder. Light had a hospital color. The carpet pattern looked the same but somehow meaner, like the diamonds rise if you look too long. I walked slowly past 301, 303, 305. The ice machine hummed like a person humming through their teeth. At the far corner, a short side hall split off, just wide enough for one door. The number plate was a slightly different font, thin where the others were thick. The doorframe had two tiny filled-in dents, like there used to be a chain there once. A phone rang on the other side. A heavy old bell. 1, 2, 3. I took a step back even though nobody had told me to. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Unknown number again, sorry. Wrong guest. Forget that text. I wanted to laugh, but my mouth wouldn't, so I breathed out and went back to my room like a person who knows how to mind their business. I locked the door. I wedged my suitcase against it, because sometimes old tricks make you feel better even when you know a door is a door. I put my ear to the wall just to hear the quiet and make it normal again. The wall whispered back with a slow scratch. The room phone rang. The old bell sound reached straight into my chest and pressed a button I didn't know I had. I picked up and said, "Hello? Everything okay?" Marla asked. Her voice kept steady, like it was holding a tray full of glasses and didn't want to spill. I saw a motion light on the third floor. "I'm fine," I said too fast. Then I told the truth because her eyes earlier had asked me to. I went up there. Just to look. "I'm sorry." "It's okay," she said gently. "Don't say the room number out loud, all right? Just stay in your room. If anyone knocks, don't open. Not for me. Not for anyone. I'll be at the desk." "Okay," I said. We hung up. My cell buzzed again, a new text with no name. "Do not answer the door." "I won't," I said to nobody, because sometimes you say things out low. UD to make them more true. Knock, knock, knock. Soft and slow. Not at my door. My bathroom door. I stared at it. The light above the sink flickered, then steadied. Then flickered again like it was counting. The mirror fogged on its own and wrote a single word, backward but readable to me from where I stood. Did. The knock came again, from under the bed this time. 3 gentle taps, polite like a neighbor with cookies. The mirror added the next word. "You, stop," I said, but the mirror did not listen. It finished the sentence. "Ask for the room, they don't rent out." "No," I said. I didn't. My voice sounded small but not broken. "I don't want it." The mirror cleared itself like a hand wiped it from the inside. Then a new word grew, slow and careful, like a person learning handwriting. "Good." The bathroom doorknob twitched. My suitcase nudged the room door like something had pushed it from the other side. A cold draft slid out from under the bed and touched my ankles like a cat that had never been a cat. My cell phone rang. The screen said unknown caller. I answered before I could tell myself not to. Don't speak, a voice whispered. It sounded like it came through a straw from far away, but I also felt it at the peephole in my door, like it was there too. The walls listened. Clicked. I stood very still and thought about choices. I could call Marla again. I could climb out the window, but the window was the kind that didn't open, only pretended to. I could pull the covers over my head like a child, which works more than people admit. The closet door slid open by itself. IT didn't show a closet, IT showed a hallway that should not fit where a closet lived. The walls looked smooth and gray, like clay pressed by a careful hand. The carpet in there was not carpet. It was a floor that had been touched 1,000 times and wanted 1,000 more. At the very end of that small, wrong hall, a red glow shivered like a faraway exit sign. The air smelled like pennies and wet paper. A white, soft hand, too pale to be anyone who belongs in the sun, reached out under my bed. Long fingers touched the carpet and pressed, as if testing how strong the world was. Then another hand slid out. They patted the floor in slow little steps like someone learning to walk. No, I said. My voice was steady now. Not brave. Just done. Stop. The hands stopped. They didn't go back. They waited, like they were listening. From the closet hall, the soft voice asked again, almost gentle, "Who's in my room?" "Not me," I said. "Not me." Silence. Then the bed lowered a half-inch. The hands loosened as if my words changed the floor under them. The mirror fogged and wrote, "Go." I took one breath and reached for the door. The swing bar trembled when I lifted it, like a thin arm waking up. I wrapped my fingers around the knob. It didn't turn. Not stuck. Held. Like a calm palm on the other side was saying, "Try again, softer." I put my eye to the peephole to ask whatever was out there to please let me out. I saw an empty hall. The carpet, the far exit sign, nobody. But I heard the voice at the little glass all the same, sweet and sad. "Stay." The light shut off completely. No flicker. A cut to black. The AC sighed and died. The mirror went dark. The red glow in the closet hall pulsed once like a heart, and the white hands under the bed wrapped gently around my ankles. I didn't scream. My breath made a small sound like a paper bag being pressed. The hands were cold and soft and certain. They pulled, not hard, just steady. I tried to kick and felt the fingers give and then return, like clay that wants to hold its shape. The closet hallway breathed in. My room breathed out. The door lock slid a little by itself, choosing a side. The voice in the peephole spoke one last time, right in my ear, careful and close, like a moth wing. "Who's in my room?" it asked. I opened my mouth to answer and the knob turned on. Drew my hand all by itself. The door cracked open to the dark hallway. The red glow in the closet brightened like it was pleased. The hands at my ankles pulled one slow, patient inch, and the floor on. And the floor under my feet began to move. The floor slid under my shoes like a slow-moving sidewalk, carrying me toward the closet that wasn't a closet. The pale hands at my ankles held, gentle but sure, like soft rope that could learn to tighten if I made it mad. The red glow at the back of that wrong hallway pulsed once, then again, like a sleepy heartbeat. "Not me," I said, louder now, to the dark. "This is not my room." The hands paused. They did not let go. The floor kept creeping, an inch, another, patient as a tide. I pressed one palm hard to the door, felt the hallway's cooler air through the crack, and shoved. It opened a little more, then stopped like it hit a rubber band. A knock came from the peephole side, tiny and polite. "Who's in my room?" the soft voice asked again, as if it only knew this one line and would keep practicing until someone answered wrong. I tried the words that had helped before. "Your room is empty," I said. "Your room stays empty. That's the rule." The mirror, though black, made a faint squeak from its frame like a finger tracing the glass. The hands at my ankles loosened half an inch, enough for me to pull 1 foot free. The floor's slow slide stuttered. I yanked my other leg back, shoes scraping, and fell sideways against the desk. The chair rolled, banged into the wall, and everything went very still, like the room was thinking. Then the landline phone rang. 1, 2, 3, each bell rolled through me like a wave. I grabbed the receiver with shaking fingers and breathed, "Marla?" "Don't say your name," the voice in the line whispered. It wasn't Marla. It was the peephole voice, thinner now, stretched, like a tape pulled too tight. "Give me yours. Then you can stay." "I won't," I said, and hung up so hard the bass rattled. The closet hallway breathed in. The red glow brightened. The hands under the bed slid away, then eached again, not for my ankles this time but for the suitcase by the door. Long, pale fingers patted the handle like a person checking a pocket. They wrapped around the little name tag on the strap and pinched. "Don't," I said. Too late, the tag popped off with a soft snap. The hands carried it toward the dark. I lunged on instinct, caught one corner with my fingertips, and tugged. The tag stretched, then tore. The piece with ink, my last name, my phone number, came away in my hand. The other scrap vanished into the closet hall like a fish slipping under a dock. The room seemed to sulk. The floor stopped moving. The red glow dimmed, then stayed there, steady but less proud. The mirror made a faint click like a camera being set down. I slid the swing bar back into place and pushed my suitcase harder against the door. I didn't know if it would matter, but it felt like something I could do that wasn't nothing. My phone buzzed with a new text from the unknown number. "Keep your feet. Keep your name. Answer the question the safe way. How?" I typed, my thumbs clumsy. "Tell me fast. 3 rules," came back, almost at once. 1. Don't count the steps. 2. Don't say yes. 3. Don't tell it who you are. Before I could answer, a new sound joined the room, a quick series of taps out in the hallway, then the softest jingle, like keys brushing a ring. A woman's voice called through the door, careful and steady and very human. "It's me. Front desk." "Say it," I whispered, because fear had turned me picky. "Pie first," she said, like a password. "Then talk." I let out a breath I didn't know I had. I slid the suitcase back just enough to crack the door. A sliver of hallway light cut across the carpet. Marla's I met mine through the opening. It looked normal and worried and very alive. "Good," she said. "Now listen. We walk. We don't run. We don't look back. If it asks, you say, no. Tee me. The room is empty. You don't say your name. You don't count how many lights we pass. If something touches your hand, don't squeeze." What if I started?